Hey there, and welcome. Now, if you've ever set foot in a microbiology lab, you know the Gram stain. I mean, it's that classic 140-year-old ritual of purple and pink that's basically the foundation of everything we do. But what if I told you that entire, messy, time-consuming process was on the verge of being completely, well, revolutionized? We're going to get into this because the future of staining might not have any stain at all. So, you know the dream, right? You see it in the textbooks. This gorgeous, clean slide where every single cell is either a perfect purple or a perfect pink. But let's be real, we all know the reality. It's a headache. You let that alcohol sit for just a fraction of a second too long, and poof, it's over-decolorized. The whole slide is useless, your results are totally questionable, and you're right back to square one. It's a process that's just begging for human error.
So let's just ask a crazy question for a second. What if you could get that perfect purple and pink result without ever opening a single bottle of Crystal Violet or Safranin? What if the dye, the very thing we call stain, was actually the most obsolete part of the whole process?
Okay, to get how this works, we have to think about what an unstained sample really is. If you just put live bacteria on a slide with some saline, they're basically invisible to our eyes. They're transparent. I mean, they're physically there, of course, but for all we can see, they're like these little ghosts just floating around.
And this is where things get really cool. The tech that lets us see these ghosts is called label-free phase imaging. The whole idea is actually pretty simple. Even though we can't see the bacteria, they're still physical things. And when light passes through them, that light gets bent and slowed down just a tiny, tiny bit. Our eyes can't pick it up, but a super sensitive microscope absolutely can.
Now, here's the crucial part. Not all bacteria bend light the same way. See, a gram-positive bacterium with that big, thick peptidoglycan wall, it creates a very specific light-bending signature. But a gram-negative one, with its thin but more complicated cell wall, it makes a totally different pattern. These unique patterns are basically invisible fingerprints that tell us exactly what we're looking at.
So, how does this all come together? Well, it's actually a really simple four-step process. First, light from the microscope passes through your unstained invisible bacteria. Second, the cell wall does its thing. It bends that light and creates its unique signature pattern. Third, an AI that's been trained on thousands and thousands of perfectly stained images instantly recognizes that pattern. It basically says, I know that light signature. That's a gram-positive. And finally, the AI just acts like a digital artist and paints the cell the right color on your screen. No dye, no mess, just a perfect result, instantly.
This technology is obviously incredibly cool, but let's get down to it. Why should we, as people working in the lab, actually care? I mean, what problem does this really solve, other than saving us a few minutes of tedious staining? Well, it turns out the implications are huge.
The first thing, and honestly the most jaw-dropping advantage, is the speed. The entire process, from the moment you put the slide on the microscope to having a fully colored, classified result on your screen, takes about 2 minutes. Just think about that. 2 minutes versus what? The usual half-hour song and dance? And the speed is really just the start. The benefits are kind of threefold. First, yeah, you get your result in 2 minutes, not 30. But here's the real game changer. Because we don't heat fix the bacteria to the slide, they stay alive. This is massive. It means you can go straight to live cell analysis, or even more importantly, start your antibiotic susceptibility testing way sooner. And finally, the system is 99% accurate. That completely takes the human error variable out of the equation. No more second-guessing your decolorizing step. You know, what we're really looking at here isn't just a small improvement. It's a fundamental shift. We're moving away from a world of chemicals and reagents and manual steps, and we're entering the era of digital microbiology. It's all about using computational power to get cleaner data, faster data, and more reliable data. And this is my favorite way to frame it. This tech doesn't make the scientist obsolete. It empowers them. It actually changes your role for the better. You're not just a technician at the bench doing a repetitive task. You're now the pilot of this incredibly powerful AI, guiding it to give you the answers you need. So, when we look ahead, the big takeaway is this. Maybe the most advanced way to see the microbial world isn't to keep labeling it with dyes, but to start listening to the stories it tells with light. The future of microbiology is fast, it's digital, and it's gonna be label-free.